Hello and welcome to Blue Army TV. I'm sitting here after Carlisle have lost 3-1 to Lincoln City. In what was a game filled with some bad decisions on the pitch and some bad decisions from the manager on the sideline. Look, it hasn't confirmed our relegation, which it very much could have, with Burton Albion winning at one point during the game, but going on to lose 3-1. You know, we could have been down today. We live to fight another day, but now I think to stay up, we'd need to get, at the very least, assuming everybody else loses every single game, we'd need 13 points from 15 points, from a possible 15. So it's not exactly likely, but it did make me think that if we'd have won that game, we'd have needed 10 points from a possible 15, which, you know, it definitely would delay the inevitable by a little bit longer. But yeah, look, it that's what it is now. I think it's just, and it has been for quite some time now, it's just delaying the inevitable. After such a brilliant game at Peterborough, I think this game was it wasn't our best performance. It definitely wasn't our worst. I think there was some positives to take from it. I think the way we came out in the second half before we kind of, you know, took ourselves out, and I'll go through the goals one by one. The first goal for Lincoln, you know, it's just you can blame Sam Lavelle maybe. I personally just, you know, why is there a man free to head it across our own box? The keeper's lying on the floor by the time the eventual shot comes in because he, you know, it's maybe it's poor positioning, maybe it's just, you know, he gets dragged all over the spot with the ball being headed back across goal. It's a frustrating one to take, but it's a good, well worked goal from Lincoln nonetheless. The second goal for Lincoln was. It's just two Carlisle players seem to tackle each other in the back line, leading for a 2v1 with the goalkeeper for the Lincoln attackers, and you know they've got some real pace in that team. We managed to get a man back, luckily, but that wasn't enough. I think it might be Butterworth that managed to get back. Regardless, I'm not sure who it was, but you know it wasn't enough. Harry Lewis lets it past him again. You know, the only two real chances on goal that he has faced, they've been let in. But yeah, then what seems to happen is we go into the second half, and Paul Simpson subs off Butterworth, who, in my opinion, had been by far our most attacking threat. He'd hit the post, he'd had a really, really good shot saved by the goalkeeper, which, you know, a brilliant strike that I think, you know, 50% of the time probably goes in. He's looking his usual bright self, and he takes him off for, I think it was Jack Diamond at the time. Oh no, sorry, it was Georgie Kelly, I think, which I do agree with putting Georgie Kelly on because, you know, you even saw today some of the quality that he had. He was very unlucky not to get a goal himself. But Butterworth, you know, you're watching that game and you're looking at Jordan Gibson and you're thinking, you know, Butterworth could have done a better job than Jordan Gibson today. Alfie McCalmont on the bench could have done a better job. You know, probably Gabriel Breeze on the bench could have done a better job than Jordan Gibson today. I think that was probably one of his worst games in a Carlisle shirt. Just tries to do too much all the time. Kept losing the ball over and over and over again. And you look at him and Butterworth, who are two very similar players. Yes, Butterworth's been playing a little bit further forward, but is very capable of playing that Jordan Gibson role today. And Simpson makes the bizarre choice to sub Butterworth instead. Now look, Jordan Gibson's not going to be here next season. I think that's pretty obvious. And Butterworth is under contract for next season, and I think Paul Simpson, with the way he's been playing him every game, I'd imagine he's probably going to be here next season. He's not going to be one of the ones we look to sell. So it didn't make sense for me that Jordan Gibson, after having a really awful game today, was left on the pitch when Butterworth, arguably our most threatening player, was taken off, despite them being very similar players. It was a mistake for me, that. And it seemed that with that substitution, we killed all momentum that we had. Georgie Kelly, I think, came on and he did really well. I think there was one header in particular that, you know, he was unlucky not to score from, and he's just a big physical number 9 that I think if we'd had that player from the start of the season, or even from when he signed without the injury, we'd be in a lot better position. And him and Armstrong up top next season, I think is going to be really dangerous in League Two, because they're both here for, after this season, another 3 years. You know, they're definitely Paul Simpson's long-term strike partnership. And I think they work well together. I think, you know, that they're both really quality players. I think both of them can be League One quality, and I know they're both definitely League Two quality. So seeing them next season even, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, then, you know, we get the goal back through Sam Lavelle, which was bizarre, having been playing with pretty much a front 5. We put all these strikers on. We had, you know, Diamond came on, and again, didn't look anything special. I don't think he's one that we should be looking to keep. Kelly, Armstrong, Mellish was pushing forward, plus somebody on that other side that I can't quite remember the name of. Who was it? It was oh god. And regardless, it was you know, we were playing with a lot of attackers on the pitch. Maguire, that's it. We had all these strikers on the pitch, and yet it's Sam Lavelle that gets the goal. And then we try and push on. And then I think with having that attackers, we were really struggling from getting from the back 4 to the front 4, and we were just losing the ball far too much in the midfield, which was, I think at the time, John Mellish, who was pushing forward, plus Harrison Neal, who he's a brilliant midfielder in his own right, but not one that can take on a whole midfield by himself. It was pretty much just lump it forward. Hopefully one of the attackers gets it. They come forward, get the free kick. It's a brilliantly taken free kick, but I don't like how Harry Lewis gets nowhere near it. And I know that might be a bit harsh, but he gets absolutely nowhere near it, and he didn't get anywhere near any of these shots. I think the second one's a bit tame. The first one you can blame his positioning, and the third one is just, you know, every single shot on target seems to go in these days, and it is worrying, because regardless of none of these goals really being his fault individually, it's worrying that he never seems to save any. But look, it's a game that really doesn't mean anything in the end. It's not the game we go down. It looks like that could be next week, or maybe the week after, but we're just delaying the inevitable now. And yeah, for now we're still a League One side, but let's just enjoy that while we can. I think it wasn't our worst performance. I do think Lincoln, the way they passed it some of the times today, they're one of the better teams I've seen this season. I think they're up there with, I don't know, Wigan were really good when we played them. Reading, Portsmouth, all teams that I've been really impressed by this season, and Lincoln are definitely up there for me. I think they are one of the best teams we've played this season. But yeah, frustrating, not surprising, and it just delays the inevitable a little bit more. But yeah, let me know what you think. It's a really downbeat one today, but it's the way all Carlisle fans are feeling. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and in a bit.